everyone. Before you watch the conversation with Tutor Levon, I would like to remind you that Engoo is offering 15% discount on all its plan. All you have to do is just apply my code and you will get 15% discount instantly. So what are you guys waiting for? For more details, go and check the description. But remember one thing, this offer is only valid till 23rd of Feb. So hurry up guys. Happy learning. Hi,
Hello.
this is
Can you
Upasana.
right? Can you hear me okay in semi-fine?
Yeah, I can.
Perfect. So, would you like to do self-introductions before
Yeah,
we
sure.
move on? All right. Would you like to go ahead first or
Okay, I would like to go ahead first. So my name is Upasana. I'm basically from India, but right now I'm living in New Delhi, and I have completed my graduation. I have worked as a content writer and a English language trainer, and right now I'm a YouTuber and a social media influencer.
all right, that's awesome. Thank you for introducing yourself.
Yeah.
And Livon, I'm 27. I live in Armenia at the moment, but I've traveled a lot and I've lived in a few countries like Vietnam, England, and Italy. I love reading books, learning foreign languages, and helping stray animals, especially cats. That's all.
Wow, that's
Thank you.
really interesting. So, as you told me that you have learned so many languages, foreign languages, right? So,
That's right.
so what makes you interested in learning the foreign languages?
Partly some of them I kind of had to learn, for example, Italian, because I lived in that country. So if I wanted to be part of the Italian society, I had to speak Italian. So about German, I mean, I plan to study in Germany next year. So that's why I learned German. And Russian, I guess, is just necessary. I don't know. And English because my wife is from the UK, so I have to speak her language in order to communicate with her. So
Okay.
there are reasons.
So that's really wonderful because I have learned English as a second language and I find it really very difficult. And a lot of people who learn any other language, they find it very challenging. And as you have learned four languages, so what's your suggestion? Like, what is the best way to learn a language?
Oh, well, definitely not to start from the grammar, I guess, especially if it's about German.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what matters here is to concentrate on speaking and find something enjoyable that you can do using that language rather than like writing a lot and stressing yourself out because there are so many weird rules that wouldn't really make sense for you. So we need to rule that part out and concentrate on enjoyable part of learning a language.
Okay, that's brilliant. So before starting this lesson, before joining this class, I was reading your intro and I got to know that you have created your own sign alphabets. So what is it about? I'm very curious to know about it.
Well, most of my students are from Japan on this platform, but I used to teach in Vietnam as well, where children wouldn't pronounce the ending sounds.
Okay,
For example, if there is a word, like for example, six, they
six.
wouldn't pronounce the ending s sound, so they would say sick. So I had to create my own way of making sure that they know there is a sound coming after that cut. So I'd make that snake-like motion, like six, and all of them would do that like, and I had that like sign for each sound that they found difficult to pronounce. That is my sign language.
That's really interesting. How did you learn it?
Oh, I just created it
You created it.
eventually.
So,
Yeah.
like, if I want to create my sign language, then how can I do that?
I think it is crucial to make sure that you find some connection between that like gesture or motion
Okay.
and like real life. For example, is like that hissing sound that a snake makes. So like I don't know if snakes go like that or not, but
Okay.
yeah.
So, apart from it, can you give me another example as well of this sign language, sign alphabet? Sorry.
Uh-huh. So, I mean, gestures in general are essential. So, for example, a lot of my Japanese students find difficult to distinguish R and L. So I just do this, like I say, imagine like these are my teeth and that's my tongue. So I say for L, you do that motion, so your
Hmm.
tongue touches your teeth, and for R, it's either curls back or you use your lips so they can see what is actually happening. Because even if I bring my mouth close to the camera, you wouldn't be able to see what is happening inside.
Yeah.
Instead, I use my hand gesture. So that's another example. Or like I did this for gu, because I think that's like a kind of gu is like a hard sound. So like I don't know, like good. So gu, good.
That's really interesting.
It's funny, and kids like that because it's a bit stupid. Like, what is the teacher doing? Like, what is that? But yeah.
So usually what kind or what age of people do you teach?
Well, different age ranges. I have like children and adults, and I enjoy working with all age groups, I'd say.
Okay.
I enjoyed answering to all your questions.
Okay, that's that's nice. So, from which country are you? You told me in the beginning.
I live in Armenia, so I'm an
Armenia.
Armenian.
Okay. So, can you tell me something about your country?
Well, there are actually many things to tell, but
Hmm.
what would you like to know?
Anything that is special or your country is known for?
Oh, maybe hard to say. Well, if you asked an Armenian, like, what is Armenia famous for, they would perhaps say it is the first Christian country in the world. They would like, oh, wow. But yeah, and perhaps like, I think Armenians or Armenian people kind of connect this country a lot to like religion and legends and mess like that. For example, they say like uh, the first no, you know Noah's Ark,
No.
or that like oh well anyway, so like it was an old like ship that supposedly landed on one of the mountains that on the Armenian highlands, and
Okay.
people would mention about that. But it is famous for its wine and for smart people, I guess. I hope.
Okay, okay. For how long have you been living in this country?
In Armenia, you mean?
Yeah, Armenia.
Well, so I'm 27. If I take out like 4 or 5 years that I was abroad, I would say 22 years and 5 years abroad.
Okay, that's really
So,
nice. Yeah, so any question you want to ask me, you can ask me too.
well, so you said that you chose English as a profession, yeah?
Yes.
And why have you decided to learn English and not Spanish, for example?
Because here in India, learning English as a second language is very important if you are looking for a good career option, if you want to get a good job or you want to crack any interview, then it is very important.
Right. And do you have any plans of moving abroad, or you see your future in India?
I have some plans, but it's still my family doesn't allow me to go abroad as they want me to stay with them only here in India. So as of now, I don't have any particular plan, but yes, in future I will plan something. I'm just 23 years old right now.
Right. And if you had a possibility, where would you go? Which country would you
So
choose?
I haven't planned yet.
All right, got it. Now, would you like to keep the free conversation going today,
Yeah,
or there is a particular material you'd like to use?
no, just
So free con.
just free conversation. Oh yeah, free
Ah,
conversation.
right, awesome. Now, you asked me what is Armenia famous for.
Hmm.
Now, India is famous for many things, and I think people know about that. But according to you, what is India famous for?
India is famous for a lot of things, like a beautiful festivals, we can say, because we have very special festivals here, and beautiful places are here. Like if I talk about Jammu and Kashmir, and some other places are here too.
Right.
And I will say that Indian culture is very popular as well. If like any foreigners visit, can you hear me properly?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you okay.
So if anyone visit from outside here in India, then they always love to know about our Indian culture.
All right. So you said there are so many festivals in India. So what is your town or city? What's the most popular festival that is held in your town or
Uh,
city?
like as of now, like recently we have celebrated Diwali, and Diwali is the most popular and the biggest festival here in India. And there is some story behind every festival why we celebrate a festival. There is a particular reason behind every festival. So, do you have festivals there or, as well? What kind of festivals do you celebrate?
We do. So I would say there are three main ones. One is in the summer. It is like related to a pagan god, but
Okay.
so it comes from thousands of years ago. And it was devoted to water, god of water. If you're outside on that day,
Hmm.
children would be outside with like buckets of water and they would throw it on you. They like
Okay.
it. You need to.
It got disconnected. I couldn't hear you.
That's okay. Here we are. We just refreshed the page. So, did you hear that part I was explaining
Yeah,
about?
I heard
Okay.
that if you step out on the day of festival, then children will throw the bucket of water on you.
And but it is enjoyable and fun for kids because they play outside together. They can like throw water on each other,
Hmm.
and it is a family festival as well because people come together and they celebrate it together. So it's for kids and for adults.
So, do you enjoy this festival?
Actually, I used to enjoy it more when I was younger because it was all about playing outside from morning till evening, and your parents wouldn't. I enjoyed it more when I was younger, as I could not only enjoy the time with my family but also play outside with the other kids.
So, what's
Yeah.
the reason behind this festival? Why do is children just throw water?
So, as I mentioned, it is like a pagan festival, comes from years ago, like pagan times.
Hmm.
But nowadays, in like Christian religion, means like purifying the souls.
Okay, okay.
I think like you throw the water to purify. But I don't know why kids would do that because I think their souls are pure anyway. So to be
Okay.
honest, I don't know the exact reasons.
Okay. And by the way, I really like your background. Have you decorated it?
Yeah, actually, I'll try to make kind of English environment here. I don't know how successful I was doing that, but I'm glad that you noticed it.
But it looks really nice. It looks really nice. Even I tried to decorate my wall. Can you see some posters I have applied here? And let me show it
I've
to you.
definitely noticed it,
And
yeah.
I
And
have written happy learning, but it doesn't come in my videos.
oh, I see a lot of like
So
mottos
some,
there, yeah.
yeah, some quotes are written on the posters, and I have made this as well. Like I applied, I wrote happy learning.
In way of learning a foreign language, that's the happy learning.
That's true. So, as you have learned languages, so I just have some questions and I would like to ask you that
Sure.
what are the difficulties you faced while learning languages?
Um, actually, um, it's so it depends on the language, to be honest. For example, about German, it's grammar and it's confusing articles.
Hmm.
Um, about Russian again, that's grammar. Italian, grammar. And what about English? Like I started learning English around
Hmm.
like 12, 11 years ago. I would say there's like present perfect, past perfect tenses, especially using the auxiliary have, because we do not have that in Armenian.
Okay.
So for me, it was difficult to understand why do we use a word
So,
have,
so
which
when you
yeah.
learned English, it was completely new for you.
Yes, it was a new world for me.
Then how did you start feeling comfortable and now you are a English tutor even though it's not your native language?
Well, I've never concentrated on like making mistakes, so I didn't really pay attention to like speaking correctly or having beautiful expressions. I just spoke. And I think many people are kind of not confident enough, so they're really worried. What if they say this or mispronounce this word, like, or what if people laugh at them? So, like, and I've never cared about that. Like, I mean, if I speak German or Italian or Russian and people laugh at me, I would laugh with them because it is
Hmm.
funny sometimes. Like, that's how I see it. So I just spoke and tried to improve, tried to memorize the way that words are pronounced and follow the pieces of advice my friends or my tutors would give me. But I have not really cared about my mistakes.
And like once you have learned a language and like as you told me that you learned German when you went to Germany, right? And when you came back to your place, then how do you practice the language? Because you don't get the environment to practice the language that you learned in that another country.
That's a really good point because it's difficult to learn a language, but very easy to forget it.
Hmm.
So what I do is to read books. So every day I read four books in four languages. They were
Okay.
completely different. Sometimes people say like, how does that not get like all confused in your messed up in your brain?
Hmm.
But I read a few pages in English, a few pages in Italian, a few in German, a few in Russian. So that's four, and thus I keep those words in my mind, so I don't forget them as I keep practicing using them.
So like if someone wants to practice English as a second language, then they should read books in English.
Well, of course, if they have the possibility, then they need to speak
Hmm.
in English because if you read only, then you're improving your reading skills, but not really your speaking ones. It would be easier for you to like acquire the spoken version of the language, but unfortunately, I don't have the chance of practicing German, Italian, or Russian with someone. That's
Okay.
why that's my only option.
But if someone likes to read and then it's quite beneficial for them. But like what if someone feels someone just get bored when they start reading the books? So any other suggestions for them? What should they do to practice their English if they don't have a speaking partner or they don't have environment to practice their English?
Actually, there are a lot of apps. Uh, and so for German, for example, I'm using an app, and every time I click the button on my phone, I get like instead of the lock screen, I
Hmm.
get a German word.
Okay.
Every time I get a new German word, and then it takes 2 seconds, so it is not enough time to get bored. It could be annoying though, because you might be like, okay, I don't want to see these German words anymore. I
Hmm.
just want to click that button and get my phone screen right away. So, I mean, there is always a way you can use technology, your smartphone, you can watch videos, but there is one essential thing here. Sometimes people think if you learn a language, you need to sit and like suffer for hours.
Hmm.
No, that's not the case. 1 minute, 2 minutes every day, 3 minutes every day, 30 seconds every day. But if you do something, you will move forward.
Okay, okay. And I have heard that thinking in a language that you are learning that helps a lot.
Say it again, sorry.
Yeah. So this is what I was saying that I have heard people saying that if you are learning a language, then it is very important to think in that language, right? Suppose I'm learning English as my second language, then I should think in English. But initially, if someone is a beginner, then they find it very challenging that how should they think in English. Suppose my native language is Hindi, so all the thoughts are coming in English, Hindi only. So how can I work on that?
Obviously, your brain gets tired uh, because like it's not natural for you to think in that language, so you kind of need to push yourself to think in that language. uh, um, I mean, it is something that you need to do consciously.
Okay.
Yeah, so you need to push yourself to do so. But to make yourself think in English, maybe you can write like things on, like, I don't know, on your mirror, right, the corner of your mirror. So every
Hmm.
time you look in the mirror, you would see that word, and that would instantly make you think, I don't know, about that word at least, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, just you need to surround yourself with words in language as much as possible, and you'll just acquire it.
That's really nice. And when I was reading your introduction, I read this word TPR. What does it mean? Can you make me understand?
Um, there are a few different ways of teaching. Yeah. Now, one of them is your full body reaction.
Okay.
It is actually mostly useful with kids.
Mm-hmm.
So TPR stands for total physical response.
Okay, total
Yeah.
physical response.
Which means that, for example, if I'm teaching kids and even adults, if I say like jump,
Yeah.
then my class, my students need to jump.
Okay.
If I say close your eyes, then they actually need to do that. Yeah, and it is a proved fact that we learn better when we move. Now, what I do using this TPR actually is to exercise. So I exercise every morning. And when I have like 10, 15 seconds like breaks, I gaze at my notebook where I have a lot of German words.
Mm-hmm.
And I memorize these words better because it is easier to memorize when you move. So the whole point of TPR is to make sure that your body is engaged in that learning process. It is quite possible when you teach online too, but perhaps more possible when you're in a classroom
Mhm.
because you can play
So
games.
it is helpful for students or for the teacher as well.
Yes, because movement in general is
Mm-hmm.
positive. I mean, if you sit all the time like that, then I don't think you would be able to acquire. But if you move, if your body moves, then I don't know, you get all that positive energy flushing into your brain.
That's really a nice suggestion. And so I wasn't aware about it, TPR, but this is like great suggestions to teach students and to learn something as well.
Of course, I think using TPR you can learn a lot of things. Movement is very important in general. Yeah.
Even when I was a kid, I used to learn the things like that, like holding the notebook in our hand and walking fastly. I used to do that.
Oh, that I think
But
that's a
now,
better way then.
and now I got to know this is what we call TPR, total physical, and what R stands for?
Response.
Response. Okay, got
So
it.
your whole body is involved in that process.
Okay, Levon,
Right.
thank you so much for your time, and it was really a wonderful session. Although it got disconnected so many times, but I enjoyed.
Well, it was so nice to have you here and have this very interesting discussion with you about learning foreign languages. And I hope to see you again, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, then bye bye.
So,
Have a nice day ahead.
bye bye. You too. Thank you. Bye bye.